I have I revised over bolting horses. So let's talk about the art of staying calm and collected on a horse, and then we'll do some other stuff. Stay balanced and calm. Yeah, easier said than done. Staying relaxed and keeping your weight centered in the saddle is crucial. Tensing up or pulling too hard can make the situation worse. Instead of yanking on the reins like the old 1960s riders do, apply steady pressure to the one rein to guide the horse in a large, safe circle. Horses slow down when directed into a circular motion. Keep your hands low and steady on the reins to avoid encouraging the horse to rear or fight back. A calming voice can sometimes help reassure the horse you're its friend. Don't panic. It's tempting to yell or do other wild shit suddenly, but that can escalate the horse's fear or adrenaline, because you have to know that horses can interpret their rider's feelings, and if you're like that, you probably coerced the horse into thinking there was a threat. Keep an eye on where the horse is heading. Guide them to open spaces to reduce the risk of injury. Today is English versus Western riding. They're making a bunch of mini stories on a cowboy meeting a pony rider. That's gonna be in April. Then a bunch of horsey poems. Let's saddle up for some equestrian fun. English versus Western riding. English and Western riding are two distinct styles with their own flair, history, and techniques. English saddles are lighter and smaller, designed for close contact with the horse to feel its movements. Western saddles are larger, heavier, and built for long hours of work, like ranching, you know. In English, the rider uses both hands on the reins, maintaining close control over the horse's mouth. Western riders use one hand, as the other might hold a lasso or do ranch tasks. English riders sport helmets, breeches, and tail boots, while Western riders go for cowboy hats, jeans, and boots with spurs. I fucking hate spurs. Each has its charm. Like, are you about sophistication, or are you a rugged swagger? English riding focuses on precise movements, including posting during the trot, and Western riders typically sit at the trot and emphasize a more relaxed style. English riding includes disciplines like show jumping, dressage, and eventing. Western is all about cattle work, barrel racing, and reining. Now time for the mini story. The cowboy was rolling down on his trusty Mustang Dusty when he spotted something unusual. A young rider atop a sleek pony wearing a snazzy helmet and breeches. The pony snorted, unimpressed by Dusty's dust-caked tack. "What's with the fancy pants?" the cowboy drawled, tipping his hat. The pony rider crossed their arms, their pony stomping a hoof. "What's with the overgrown chair on your horse's back? You could park a truck on that saddle." The two stared each other down, their mounts equally unimpressed. But when a tumbleweed darted and spooked both horses, they quickly worked together, one hand steadying the reins, the other calming the nervous animals. As the horses settled, the cowboy smirked. "Maybe fancy pants and dusty boots ain't so different after all." The pony rider grinned. "Guess it's all about the horse, huh?" From then on, the two became an odd pair. The cowboy teaching lasso tricks, the pony rider showing off their precision, jumping. Who says different riding styles can't get along? Who says a show jumper and a Western pleasurer cannot be friends. English pleasure versus Western pleasure. Think graceful and elegant if you're talking about English pleasure, emphasizing a horse's ability to move smoothly with a refined and collected style. The judges look for a horse with a smooth gait, willingness, and elegance. The goal is for the horse to make it seem effortless, while you look like you're floating on air. Riders wear helmets, fitted jackets, breeches, and tall boots. Horses sport lightweight saddles and bridles, often with the thin reins to reflect precision. Horses must perform walk, trot, and canter, and they cannot gallop. They can sometimes even extend trot. It's not necessarily about trail riding, English pleasure, but more of a show ring event that emphasizes control and grace. Think about a slow and steady cowboy cool when you're talking about Western pleasure. The judges seek a calm, relaxed horse that moves fluidly and balance. The horses should perform their gaits with minimal effort, looking smooth and relaxed. The horse should never appear ah fuck. The horse should appear obedient, attentive, and as if they'd be ideal trail companion. Riders wear cowboy hats, button-up shirts, jeans, and western boots. Horses use heavier western saddles, often decorated with silver for show, and reins held loosely in one hand. They walk and then they jog, which is a term for a horse's slow and easy trot, and lope, a calm canter. The focus is on smooth transition and a laid-back appearance. Western pleasure is better for hot climates because it's slower paced and less formal. And it translates beautifully to trail rides for a relaxed, comfortable experience. English saddles are lightweight and smaller, and they're built for close contact with the horse, enabling precision and agility. They're ideal for activities like jumping, dressage, and eventing, where the rider needs to feel the horse's movements. It has no horn, common in Western saddles. It has a narrow seat to allow for greater range of leg movement, and less padding for a streamlined look and feel. There are deep seat and long flaps for balance and posture in dressage saddles. There are forward curved flaps for jumping saddles, and a compromise for various activities is known as an all-purpose saddle. Western saddles are heavier and built for comfort over long hours, making them perfect for ranch work, trail riding, and Western sports like reining and barrel racing. It has a horn at the front for roping cattle. It has wider seats and stirrups for better weight distribution and stability, often padded and decorated with tooling and silver accents. And roping saddles are sturdy and durable for roping livestock. Barrel racing saddles are lightweight for quick turns. Trail saddles are extra comfort and support for long rides. And now, Western sports versus English sports. Western sports like barrel racing, roping, reining, cutting, and trail class. And then English sports like show jumping, dressage, eventing, underclasses, and equitation. Are you the Applejack or the Rarity? The UK versus US, show jumping or jumping? The UK emphasizes its long-standing equestrian heritage with its jumping. These events are often steeped down in history, with iconic venues like Hickstead and Olympia hosting prestigious competitions. Meanwhile, in the US, everything's huge in America, including the scale of equestrian competitions. The US boasts expansive arenas and world-class events like the Winter Equestrian Festival in Florida. While riders maintain the same principles of elegance, there's often a distinct flair for speed and spectacle. Americans' courses can be more open and focused on longer strides and more big air over fences. The United States Equestrian Federation governs events, including the U.S. Olympic show jumping team's activities. Does the US or UK have equestrian school programs? Can they be school day classes? Can you ride a horse to school? Both the UK and the US have programs that incorporate horseback riding and equestrian sports through the approach and prevalence differ. The UK, aka the birthplace of equestrian tradition, supports organizations like the National Schools Equestrian Association or NSEA. They organize inter-school competitions and promote equestrian sports in both state and independent schools. Some schools even have their own equestrian facilities, allowing students to bring their horses or use school-provided ones. These programs often include riding lessons, horse care, and competitive opportunities. In the US, they're less common, being found primarily in high schools and colleges, but they could also be prevalent in private schools, and there are specific academies for it. They focus on hunter-jumper disciplines, dressage, and Western riding. There's no US law that bans such practice of riding your horse to school. But the question is, you're in class, who's taking care of your horse? Well, you could get a staff member to help you while you're doing some algebra equations, or you could you could dedicate your school breaks to doing something like that. Because your bus couldn't be running, your mom works until 7, you got crutches on, and you get out at 4 p.m. If you're an equestrian, wouldn't you turn to your horse, right? Or wait after you get home to take it for a little burden trip. Now, I'm gonna have the more poetic stuff next week on April 1st. So, is this the first thing that's not like 20 minutes? Okay, we'll be back on tomorrow for the Wildlife Wednesday and the Wings of Fire Wednesday. Until then, stay safe, my little ponies.